What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sound Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life, coming at you today with my daily podcast. That's right, the top 25 mistakes podcast is a podcast of transparency, guys. It is just me telling you the mistakes that I made in my life, and hopefully you don't turn around and make the same mistakes. I wrote that in my book. I have it in my manifesto. And what I want you guys to realize is that everybody gets to a certain point in their lives, hopefully, where you feel that you need to give value to other people, right? It is not always about, what you can get for yourself and just gimme, take. Soon, if you are not in a stage in your life where you're just in complete need, right? Just waiting for a handout from somebody. If you have reached beyond that state where you at least have food on the table and a job and you got a little income coming in, then you already understand that giving back is very, very important in life, right? Giving back, giving value. I think that even if you don't have money in the bank, you can give kind words and a smile and just make somebody's day and make somebody feel better. So, in saying that, guys, I really took to my top 25 mistakes and talking about it and going through my daily podcast. So hopefully, as I go through my daily podcast, it'll be one of these podcasts that just catches you and you'll be like, yeah, I'm really grooving with that, because I decided also not just to have it on Spotify, but to also have it on YouTube, right? And also have it on Google Podcasts. And hopefully one day I can get on Apple Podcasts too, right? Come on, Apple, let me in. But anyway, guys, today's podcast, what I want to really talk about, guys, is my failures, right? Is my failures at business, and a lot of things that I wanted to do, my expectations of myself. I talked about that, but I want to talk about this, guys. I want to talk about the reason why I need to reset, right? Reset. And that's what today's podcast is about. It's about resetting. It's about going back to your roots, right? To where it all started, where it all began. And I'm going to tell you guys, as my mentor told me, there's nothing wrong with hitting the reset button, right? When you think that you've jumped off to a good start and you get initial success and progress, you tend to ignore the rules of success, right? The things that are getting you there. You kind of just take on things and you keep going. And as long as you're seeing success, you add mistake to mistake to mistake to mistake till eventually you get so deep in mistakes, right? That you don't know where you went wrong. You don't know what the problem is, right? Because now it's overwhelming. It's like almost like you took a shot up and all of a sudden, as you were rising, you took an instant drop, right? So that incline was going a certain way, you felt that things were working out, and all of a sudden you just took a drop and it just hit you and you're like, oh my God, what just happened? How did it happen? And it happens because of an accumulation of mistakes, right? It wasn't just one mistake that you did or two mistakes. It's an accumulation of mistakes that caused you to have that crash, that caused you to have that problem. And hopefully, you guys, you let your ego know that it's okay to hit the reset button. So what are some of the things that you used to do when you started seeing positive changes in your life? That's one of the questions that I want to start off today's podcast with and ask you. Maybe I'll even put it as a highlight for today's podcast, right? What are some of the things that you used to do when you first started seeing positive changes in your life? Success, things that help you to move forward. What were some of the things that you did? Right? I need you guys to think about that, especially if you're hitting the reset button, right? If you're hitting the reset button, that means you're taking it back a notch and you're trying to figure out, okay, where it all went wrong, right? But before you try to figure out where it all went wrong, you have to go all the way back to the point of where did it start going right? What formula did I put together to start gaining success in my life? And I need you guys to think about that and really go back and go through all your old notes, all your old journals, all your old courses, all your old books, man. Me personally, look, I'm going back to where it all happened, all the way back to my cassette days, right? The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, right? I don't even, some of these cassettes are missing, but it's six cassettes. And if you guys know about cassettes, right? Once they unravel, man, you got that pencil, you're trying to fix it, and I wasn't able to fix all of them. So, but I still got that, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and I've taken it all the way back to where I first started seeing positive results. And what I began to see when I took it back that far was the first thing that changed was my mindset, right? My mindset, what I believed I could achieve. That is one of the first things that I did, right? And when I started believing that I can do something, the next thing I did was I put together a set of principles, right? Things that I believed in, things that I was going to go by, things that I did not move away from. So I asked you guys a second question. Why did you stop using those principles? Or me personally, why did I stop using those principles? If those principles that I put in place were allowing me to have success in my life and things that I did, then why did I stop using them? What occurred, right? Who influenced me? What went on? What was going on in my life where these principles that were so important and started getting me success all of a sudden became unimportant for me to follow? So I asked myself that question, and I asked you that question, right? Why did I stop using those principles, the ones that got me success? So tell you a little quick story, guys. When I was in the best shape of my life, I mean phenomenal shape, I could run 40-yard dash in like 4.6 seconds. I was at like 6%, 5% body fat on a regular basis, right? I was doing well in bodybuilding shows. I was top of my class at the academy. I was on special operations groups, our SWAT team. I was doing tons of things in my life, and at the same time, right, had mental clarity. I had great emotional bandwidth where I can deal with a lot of situations and still come home to a wonderful family and make sure that my family's okay. So I had a lot going on, right? Now, during that time when I was in the best shape of my life, my entire day was planned. My entire day. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's so exhausting to plan your entire day. And I tell people, if you don't plan your entire day, what else are you going to do with your day? How are you going to get the most out of your day? And if not how you're going to get the most out of your day, how would you even know it if it's not planned? If you don't have things figured out, guys, then start figuring things out, right? Figure out how you need to map out your day to get the most out of your day. At least, if nothing else, figure that out, guys. So my entire day was planned, right? And it was planned from my morning cardio, right, to my 2-a-day workouts, to my protein consumption every 3 hours to assure that I had optimal processing of my nutritional needs, right? So I had all of that, right? And that was in order to reach my optimal health, right? I had a solid set of principles. Those are my set of principles that I stood by, and I did not break them for anyone. That was my solid set of health principles, right? I also had a solid set of physical principles that I stood by for my training, so that I can get the optimal amount of training done each and every single day. I didn't have cheat days planned in my training routine. I didn't have cheat days planned in my nutritional routine, right? These were things that I was going to do no matter what. This was part of my life, and this is how I was going to proceed forward, right? Despite willpower had nothing to do with it, right? Zero, right? It wasn't even about willpower. It was about me getting done what I wanted to get done. And we're going to get into that in a little bit, right? We're going to talk more about that, right? I had a set of principles for my mindset, right? I had a set of principles that I stood by to keep my mind on track for success. My goal was to be a bodybuilder and a law enforcement officer, like one of my idols, Ronnie Coleman, at the time, right? And so I was totally focused. I watched tape after tape after video after video. I watched posing, training, and at the same time, I made sure that I progressed the best way possible in my law enforcement career. So I was doing them both, and I was totally focused. So I had my mindset was on track for success. I also had a set of principles for my relationships and my family. I had a set of principles for that. And nobody was going to get in the way of my set of principles, right? And all of those principles were written down and aligned until they became a part of my life, until they became something I was doing each and every day. And for me, guys, and it should be the same for you, if it is important, then it deserves to have a set of principles that keep you on track for success. So that should be a rule that you go by, right? If something is very, very important to you, it needs to have a set of principles, okay, that you need to go by. Now, this wasn't the only thing that allowed me to have success, right, guys? But it gave me a set of rules or guidelines, right, based on my own values. See, these principles were my values. They were things that I believed in. They were things that were important to me. They were things that I cared for. And so I had these set of rules, and there were rules that I didn't break, right? You know how you don't break traffic rules, or you don't break crime rules, all these other things, right? These are everybody else's rules, right? How could you not have a set of rules for yourself? A set of rules for yourself that you feel that is extremely important, okay? And you don't need anybody else to follow your rules. These are your set of rules for your life. So here's the deal, guys. If you don't have a set of your own rules, a set of values for yourself, then you will have no choice. You will have no choice but to adopt someone else's values, okay? And trust me, it is rarely in your best interest, right, when someone else's values is placed upon you. It is always to their agenda. It is always to their advantage. So you need to have your solid set of values that you stick to. What are your set of values? What do you believe in? What do you care about? And then set some principles and guidelines and rules that you follow, and don't break them. Make it part of your life. Make it constantly to repeat and over again until those habits become your lifestyle, right? Make those habits your lifestyle when it comes to your set of values. Okay? Also, if things begin to go wrong in your life, right? If things begin to go wrong in your life, you can look back on your set of values and find out which ones you have violated, right? If you violated a set of values and you find it, it will allow you to get back on track, right? I violated these sets of values in my life, and before this, everything was going well, and now it's not going as well as it should. Okay, so now you have to get back on track, and you can see where you violated your set of values. So understand that, right? Now, this is where I find myself today, guys. I find myself today going back and trying to figure out what set of values in my life I violated, okay, to cause me to go from successful to not unsuccessful, but in this particular area, unsuccessful, right? Since we're being all transparent and all, right? Right now, I feel like I have a failing business compared to where I felt that I should be at this point in time in my business. Maybe my expectations were unrealistic, okay, because I was following the wrong people, okay, listening to the wrong people when it came to my business, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe I just didn't do exactly what these people told me to do when they told me to do it, and my hesitation caused my failure. But either way, I have to go back and I have to look at my set of values and see which ones I violated to cause me to have this setback, as I like to call it. Not a failure, but a setback, right? See, I didn't do my homework. I know this for a fact. I didn't do my homework when it came to several financial areas of my business, right? People hiring people or having people to work along with me kind of took away a lot of my resources. I was coming out of pocket for everything, so I didn't have any venture capitalists working with me as far as my business is concerned, so everything was being financed by me. So that also ended up causing some type of issues, okay, because I didn't understand the entire process. So those are things that I had to work on and step back and begin to learn how to figure those things out. And so now I'm pushing the reset button, guys. I'm pushing the reset button to get back on track. And I can do that because I have a set of values that I know that I used to go by that maybe I drifted away from a little too much, right? A little too far away from my set of values, and now I have to get back to them to figure out exactly where I need to go in order to be successful. What do I need to do, man? So I told you guys one of the things that I'm doing is old books and old tapes, man. Earl Nightingale, going back to that and listening to that a little bit. I told you guys before, I'm going back. I'm listening to Take Charge of Your Life with Jim Rohn, one of my first mentors that I began to learn from. I'm listening to reading Awakening the Giant by Tony Robbins. You know, I'm reading that again. So there's several things that I'm doing to get my mindset back on track of some of the things I was doing back then that helped me to initially get my initial jump start in my success, guys. So that is necessary. Sometimes you have to do that, guys, in order to create the life that you want, in order to get the things that you want out of life. Sometimes you have to take a step back, regroup, and then jump back into it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, this is not easy. It is not easy. It is probably, right, one of the most emotional draining decisions that I have made this year. My ego is taking a massive hit of emotion because my ego is hard-headed and it wants to do what it wants to do. But I'm telling you guys, if you have a strong set of values, they will supersede how your ego feels and tell you what you should do. So make sure you got that set of values. That set of values is going to line you up and get you back on track, guys. It's going to point you in the right direction, the direction you need to go. So understand that, right? So in order to push through, I need to go through my list of reasons, right? My list of reasons are what is going to compel me to push through this emotional point of stepping back and then coming back forward. So in saying that, let me ask you one more question before I wrap it up today, guys. Do you have a list of reasons that compel you to do great things? You know, I was going to make this part of tomorrow's podcast, but I felt that it was important to get this in here today, to make this point today, because I feel like tomorrow's not promised. Let's get this good information out today. And I'm going to tell you guys, do you have a list of reasons, right? What are your reasons in order to, things that compel you to do great things? What are your reasons, guys, right? You need reasons for all areas. As I talked about my list of principles, my list of values, right, for different areas of my life, right? A lot of times we don't do what we want to do in life because we don't have enough reasons to compel us to get up off the couch and start working on something, right? What are your reasons? And don't give me just one or two, right? Your wife, your family. Those are strong reasons, strong emotional reasons. Give me some reasons that are deep down inside of you. Something that you are conflicted with, that you are trying to deal with, that you just can't get it out. You just can't spit it out, because if you say something, people are going to tell you that you're selfish. If you say something about you, people are going to tell you that you're only thinking about yourself. Right? You have to learn how to block out a lot of the bullshit that people tell you. Right? People that tell you you're only thinking about yourself are thinking about themselves, telling you that you're thinking about yourself. So don't you fall for that crap, man. Don't you fall for it. Those people are thinking about themselves when they tell you you're thinking about yourself. First thing you need to do is get yourself squared away. Square yourself away. Get your principles down. Get your values down, right? Get your reasons down, right? You got to have a list of reasons, right? You got to have reasons that drive you to get up a little extra early in the morning. What reasons are going to make you get out of bed early in the morning and get started? You got to have a reason for it. Think about that. What are your reasons, right? A little extra early. What are your reasons, right, that keep you up a little bit extra late at night? What are your reasons, right, to not just close your laptop, put down that book, start reading? What are your reasons to keep going at night when you are tired and exhausted and worn out, right? And you don't want to do any more. You just want to go out and have fun, and you want to pick up your phone and play some video games, or lay on the couch and watch Netflix. What is the reason that makes you to stay up late and work hard on your goals, as opposed to calling it quits on those, right? That little bit extra late at night. What are the reasons that make you solve a dilemma that you're dealing with, right? Something that challenges you in your life, in your personal life, in your financial life, in your business life, right? What is the reasons that make you compelled to solve this dilemma, right? And last but not least, what are the reasons that make you take those things that were challenging you and go out and teach them to other people, to help other people to succeed in the same things that you were challenged with before, right? What compels you to do that, guys? And I'm going to tell you, right? What compels me is very, very powerful, man. It's very, very powerful. And it is because of the 28 years that I've spent in law enforcement, and all of the lives that I've seen destroyed, literally destroyed, because they were a one-trick pony, right? They only had one trick, one thing that they could do good. And when that went bad, their entire life fell apart, guys. And I don't want you to be the one-trick pony, guys. I want you guys to be the person, be the individual, right? And I'm not saying jack of all trades. I'm saying the individual that has tons of reasons never to quit, right? Tons of principles and values, okay, to keep you on track and guided in the direction that you need to go to have the life that you want, man. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I thank you guys for checking me out today. I think that this podcast was much needed, okay, for me, okay, and hopefully it is someone out there who needs to, boom, hit that reset button, and you can tell your ego, hey, take it down. This is what we're doing. We're hitting the reset button today, and we just got to go back, man. We got to go back to some reading. We got to go back to some principles. We got to go back to some basics, and we have to start from scratch to get it right. So go ahead. Don't be afraid to do it, man. Start from scratch as you have to. But I also, guys, when you start from scratch, make sure you have somebody who has had success in what you're trying to do, all right? And they have a roadmap for you, right? And sometimes you have to study that roadmap, just the first step. Get down that first step solid. Okay, repeat it over and over again. You have to get that first step solid, get it down, okay, and then move on to other things that you need to do in order to succeed, man. Get that first step down, and only worry about this first step. Don't worry about the second step. Don't study this second step. Don't think about this second step. Because the second step, just like life, just like tomorrow, is not promised. Make that first step right now. Don't hesitate. Push on through and make it happen, man. So listen, this is Sal Blue. I'm going to wrap it up for today. Make sure you guys go over to lieutenantsalblue.com. Check out my book, Top 25 Mistakes en Route to Good Life. I'm giving it away, man. Giving this thing away, man. All right? $9.95. You pay the shipping. That's what I'm asking you guys to do. Pay the shipping and the processing, which comes out for me to about $9.95 for that. And also, guys, I got some order form bumps. You guys can get the audiobook over there. You can get my course, my Top 25 Mistakes course. You can get one-on-one coaching if you want over there. All that at Lieutenant Sal Blue with tons of extras that I'm giving away as well, guys. So check all of that out at my website, lieutenantsalblue.com. If you have issues with the website, just shoot me a DM at any of my social medias, Lieutenant Sal Blue. Okay, it's my social media at Lieutenant Sal Blue on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, Lieutenant Sal Blue. Or you can go over to my Facebook group, Top 25 Mistakes, and you can give me a shout out or DM over there, and I'll get that message and I'll get back to you if you have any issues. Guys, I'm giving out 10,000 autographed copies of my book over at my website. So check me out, man. And that is it for today. I'm going to wrap it up and get my workout on tonight, right? 25-minute T25 challenge. I'm down with the girls this week, and so we're going to be working out and making this happen. So that's Lieutenant Sal Blue, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, man, with my daily podcast. All right? Deuces. Have a great night.